money truck on my Versace driveway. Looking like money back, 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 money back. With me pretty too, they look like bridesmaids, and they all gang, so don't be talking sideways. He said you look.
An NFC South battle right off the bat. It's the coach. This is week 1 of the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, the Saints were this close to an NFC Championship appearance a year ago. How will they respond this year as they get an early test at home against the visiting Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I'll be back at halftime with a look around the early games. Let's get you over to New Orleans. Here are Brandon Godden.
Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play. And I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game, there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They passed the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
Here we go. Ready? What's that?
They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Thomas. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Breeze on the hook up to Thomas for the New Orleans first. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a 1st down.
They're looking sharp right from the get-go here. Tough division. They needed this kind of a start. But I think this is part of where scripting comes in. We always hear about the scripting of plays, how they're going to be called. Everybody dress rehearses their script. And right now, they're following it to a T.
And for that opening drive, so part of the script still to come, right, partner?
Yeah, no doubt about it. We've got a ways to go with that. But you can tell that they worked on the script the entire week in practice, and it's paying off for them.
4 down. Ready? You waiting?
On 2nd down, Kamara. And he'll be stopped up quickly here at the 38. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
He's going to loft one deep left, and this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Chris Conte. He spins free. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down. Thomas, the intended target. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the 1st quarter.
Too many ones in this play. 1st quarter, 1st drive, 1st interception thrown.
And that last one, and his first pass is incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. Airing this one out for Evans. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So still a scoreless game in the first, but they're going to go for this thing on their own side of the field on 4th down. They'll run it with Sims. And this doesn't end well at all as they stop him far behind the line to gain. A surprising move here on the opening drive of the game. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line.
I don't know why you would do that. It's almost guaranteed points the other way. I mean, I get it if it's a late-game situation, maybe even 4th and inches. But huge risk to take.
Yeah, now they're set up in prime position going the other way. Stop made there by Gerald McCoy.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There was a lot of debate about who was going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it 2 different ways. McCoy, more movement, more...
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Brent Grimes. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. Ah, yes, the old tip drill works to perfection there.
You're bringing back great memories. Used to love that drill. And a lot of times in practice, you work on it, not just one tip, but multiple tips, just in case the ball stays in the air for a while, to have an awareness and the ability to go up and grab it, and then you want to get some blocking support and end up in the opposite end zone.
In that tip drill, what do you yell?
For us, it was Oski. Okay, Oski was an interception.
For different teams.
Different teams have different ways of doing it. I've heard bingo, jackpot. The worst I ever heard, though, was Frankenstein. You don't want it to be a 3-syllable word.
Yeah.
You want to get it right down and go. Oski is really the preferred word.
Oski. Here's Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And that makes the score 7-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. On the return, it's Ted Ginn Jr. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. And looking to erase his memory bank from his opening drive a moment ago that ended in a pick 6 for the first points of the ball game.
And in my experience, a lot of quarterbacks, after throwing a pick 6, the first thing they want to do is fire another one and get those points back immediately. But what really helps you get back in sync is a good, long, methodical drive, mixing the run and the pass, tamp things down a little bit.
Now Brees to try again after the pick 6. It's brought in right side by Ginn. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Ready? You ready?
Here's Brees. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up.
Ready? United?
From the gun, it's Brees. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. Call it a gain of 3. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Well, these Buccaneers coming off a 4-game drop-off from a year ago, 9-7 in Dirk Cutter's first season to 5-11 last year. It's now 10 straight seasons without a playoff appearance, and in fact, they have not won a playoff game, Charles, since winning Super Bowl 37.
And in order for them to get back to the playoffs, they've got to go through their division, which is awfully tough and high-powered on offense. Atlanta, New Orleans, Carolina. So the Buccaneers made the investment. Jason Pierre-Paul from the Giants on the defensive side of the ball. Also picked up Bo Allen and Vinnie Curry from the Philadelphia Eagles. So the defensive front taken care of. They also picked up Vita Vea, a massive defensive tackle from Washington in the first round of the draft. Then they picked up a couple of corners. They know that on the defensive side of the ball, that's where they have to make their biggest gain to chase down their division rivals.
Second down, Winston. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Throwing, Winston. He's got Evans. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. And that's the first connection, the number 1 overall pick in 2015, finding the number 7 pick in 2014 in Evans.
And what a great target Mike Evans is for Jameis Winston. Winston's a pretty accurate thrower, but that catch radius that Evans provides, that makes him that much more dangerous.
Demario Davis there on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now Jameis on second down. Trying to drop one in, but it's incomplete. The linebacker, Demario Davis, got a hand in to break that one up. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. O.J. Howard, 34 yards. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. And nowadays in NFL football, you have to account for all the receivers, sure, but the tight end's such a weapon, and they prove it right there.
Oh, without a doubt. And we're seeing now the golden age of tight ends catching the football. I go back to Kellen Winslow. To me, he was the prototype of what we're seeing today. We're seeing it each and every week now.
Extra point good by Catanzaro, and it's now 14-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken about the 12. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you've got a chance to come back to it when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Well, still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter.
Ready. Yellow 80, yellow 80.
They begin on the ground with Kamara, and he'll get this one up to the 26. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
Ready. You waiting?
Now Breeze throwing on 2nd down. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Ready. United.
Now Breeze on 3rd down. Oh, the bucket. Too much. Down he goes. Noah Spence. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Here's Jackson. The quick feet by Jackson. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Ready. Black 22.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it.
Stay ready. Blue ready.
The 2nd down throw for Winston. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. A reminder coming up at the half, we hook up with a new guy, Jonathan Coachman from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis, and more importantly this year, scores and stats from around the league here in Week 1. So do not press that skip button. Winston. Complete. He finds Braid. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
First down, Winston. That is caught at the 7th. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Adam Humphries, 28 yards. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field, and that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
Delay of game, offense.
So that'll back him up 5. Catanzaro now for the extra point. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And it's now 21-0. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will not bring it out. He'll just go down to a knee here for a touchback, and the ball will come out to the 25. Now we'll see what Michael Thomas and the rest of the offense has in store here. With them losing here in the second quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I say just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not? 4 verts. One of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Usually the offense has an answer to anything a defense throws at them, including a safety valve. And that's what they did on that play. They went there, but the defense still made an excellent play and held them to no gain.
Yellow waiting.
From the gun on 3rd down, Breeze. And that is incomplete.
Well, it's looking like another 3 and out here, and at some point, got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit, and we're not even at halftime.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for New Orleans. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. With it is Jackson. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just give him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent, it's really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
Yeah, now they're just looking to add to that total. Now a second down throw for Winston. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Let's go now.
First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. 1st and 10 right at the 20.
Hey, ready?
Final play of the half here. Winston. He gets it to Humphreys. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the third. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down. He is tough to bring down, Jameis Winston. Charles, I remember calling a baseball game of his. He played baseball at Florida State, too. And you saw his legs, tree trunks sprayed in to those baseball pants. I said, how could anybody bring this guy down?
And that's part of the beauty of his game because he has that toughness, that thick body. He may not beat you sprinting, but he's real sharp with his mind, and he knows how to get away from people.
The play fake descends. Now Winston. And, boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
Oh, that's got up. They nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
The Bucs on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. They go play action. Winston looking deep downfield. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
It was Mitch Unrein that made the tackle.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Ready.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Kamara. And he'll be taken down right around the 27. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the 1st down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And Ginn's got it. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the 1st. Breeze to another long-time vet, Ginn, for the New Orleans 1st.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Hey, we're waiting.
Breeze now on first down. And his throw here's incomplete. The intended target was Michael O'Matawanui. And now it's second down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
Breeze on the draw, gives to Camaro. And he'll get this up to about the 40.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Ready.
Breeze going to try and throw on 3rd down. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
An attempt at a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Here's Thomas Morstead now. He's been terrific so far. Oh, able to avoid him. And now running right through it. A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Play action now. Winston. He gets away from one. And a catch right side by Evans. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one goes for 24 yards.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. That everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. To say they've kept him under wraps running the football, that's an understatement. He's been completely neutralized.
Yeah, they've essentially taken him out of the game, haven't they? And you know all the teams say, we're not going to let him beat us. Well, that's exactly what's happened here. They've lived up to that.
To throw is Winston. He completes it to Evans. That'll give him 60 yards receiving now as he's got a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Winston again. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. 3rd down here. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. So Bree's going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. Looking long for Thomas. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Ready.
A 10th carry for Kamara. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got just pin their ears back again.
Back now here live in New Orleans. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Ready. Yellow waiting. Yellow waiting.
Shotgun now for Breeze. And this is going to be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
Ready. United.
Now Breeze got to have this one. And this is incomplete. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And the Bucs are going to take over with excellent field position to boot. Now, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the 2nd half.
And I get it. In this situation, you know, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down. They're over on the bench right now feeling great. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Hey, let's get it working. Four down, check, four down.
run it again with Sims. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Now they run with Sims. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
They'll try to throw now. Winston being chased out left. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. For a big guy, Jameis sure can move. Did a nice job there picking up the first down with his legs.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Jameis to throw it. Dancing to, and he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston with now 3 week 1 touchdowns. And this Buccaneer offense is running away with this one. Turning into a really good performance on the road. Week 1, you're just hoping for that first win. It's tough to do it away from home, though, but they're looking strong.
It certainly is. Any road win in the NFL is a great road win. I mean, it just does not matter whether it's supposed to be tough or not. In this particular situation, how great will they feel leaving with a win on the road against a tough opponent?
A little work still to do, though. Extra point good by Catanzaro, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Out is the kickoff unit as they send this one away. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows a coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. On first down, Breeze. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Cameron Meredith, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
And the pressure gets to Breeze as he's taken down. Gerald McCoy coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
33 yards is the distance on the punt there, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Right back to him on first down. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And that will extend this big lead. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
A good starting spot for the Saints as they come up 1st and 10.
Stop your whining. Ready? You ready?
From the gun, it's Breeze. He goes underneath to Ingram. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. On 2nd down, here's Breeze. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Call it a 3-yard gain, and just like that, it's 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact.
Completion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. So out come the Bucs now. They have the big cushion. Here in the final stages of this one, I don't know if there's any better feeling than being up big on the road.
There really can't be, because for a team to go on the road and win in the NFL, that's huge to begin with. But just think about all the preparation that went into it. When they first started talking about this game, leading up to it during the week, going on the road, unfamiliar city, obviously, unfamiliar hotel. No one's going to be with you once you get to the stadium. They're all going to be against you. You name it, all those things they had to deal with, they were able to conquer them and do it convincingly.
Yeah, they did it very convincingly, and now the final moments of this one. 2nd and 9 now from the 21. And they run with Sims. And down right near the 25. Able to break through that initial contact. Got him some extra yardage. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll run here with Sims. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Toss play to Sims. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week 1. You had the fly over the big American flag.